Hello to everyone, this is Karina. This is the second part of how I make the rig for this robot. Now that we have the rig set up, it's time to refine it with the weight painting and skinning so that the movements look smooth and natural. And this step is crucial for animation, so let's jump right in. Look at all of this beauty in a Piazza Cavour in Rome, Italy. It's like near at my university, right there. Okay, so this is the skeleton our joints have created here in the last video for our robot Henry. The last video was all about a proper orientation and positioning the joints. Today we're gonna do the skinning. Skinning is the process that we are going to use to connect all our joints that we have created. As you can see here, this geometry is a single geometry. That's important for as long as every time you create a skin cluster, if you have several pieces of geometry, you need several skin clusters, and that's not what we actually need. Okay, so for this cute robot Henry, don't think much about the name because I'm planning to play with it while doing the cinematic in Unreal Engine. I'm gonna select all of my joints individually. I'm gonna press Shift and click on this kind of plus button to expand all of my joints hierarchy. And I select every single one of them. Every common mistake is select the first one and the last one, hoping that it selected all the joints. No, we select the first, the second, the third, and slowly we keep selecting all the joints. Scroll, press Shift, click, drag the selection. Now I've selected all of them, and then we select the geometry, pressing Shift of course. And first of all, we have to switch, as I see, to the rigging tab. Yeah. Then we go to the skin, bind skin, options, select joints. Okay, everything seems fine. Apply. We click OK. Double click on this icon to open our tool. Now what's going to happen, as you can see here, is that the joints are going to change color. And depending on the color, how far in the hierarchy they are, for instance, this pink color is the last bones in the hierarchy. As we go through the hierarchy, we'll arrive to this orange color. Let's select and see how it all moves. Okay. For example, here we have a lot of influence that creates all these artifacts that we don't need. No worries, we'll eliminate that all later, reassigning the skinning. Here's the best example of these artifacts that we are when the joint has too much influence. On the other parts of the mesh, Okay, so let's start our skinning process. I'm gonna select this geometry. Now we're navigating to the skin, and we select paint skin weights. Double click here to make sure that we open the tool settings. If we click on different joints, we see color changes or weight changes. I don't have a color ramp turned on so that we can see the gradient better. The selected joint has a lot of influence on a lot of different parts. Here and here and here and here and here. The important thing is that the hotter is the color, the more influence it has. In skinning, we need to start painting things that they only move the parts that I want them to move. This bone right here, it has a lot of influence on these parts, so it'll do a lot of weird movements here. I will show you. Here you see, let's fix that. We return back to our tool. We have selected this bone in our tool settings. This is the left clavicle bone. The yellow is the part that it has more influence on. Green and blue, it has less influence than yellow. So green is more influence than blue, and so on. We'll start painting from the left clavicle down to the fingers. Okay. First of all, we have to go to the selected mode. Yeah, here. Then we double click on the vertices that we want to select, that this joint has influence on. By doing this, we will eliminate all the weight on the other pieces that we are not selected. So the thing is that this robot was created from a lot of unconnected meshes, so it's super easy for us to select the whole island of vertices. Like, for example, if we want to select the shoulder, we can just select by double clicking, we select the whole island of vertices of the shoulder. There is also a paint tool if you have one mesh, for example, a human or a creature. You wouldn't be able to select just the shoulder by just double clicking. However, the robot is made from different unconnected meshes that we merge together to one piece of geometry. So then we've selected the whole island right here. We're gonna go to the paint mode. And we're gonna select the value of 1, that's important, replace right here, and I'm gonna click on float. In that way, we're telling to the selected vertices that they have to follow this bone completely. If we are floating with the value of 1, we're telling to these vertices, you're gonna follow only this joint, only this. As you can see, it still has a lot of influences on these blue and green parts. You can either float it with a 0, eliminating the influence, obviously selecting these vertices, or you can just stop worrying about all this influence because we're gonna reassign all this weight later, and these parts and all this influence will just disappear later. I think that I'm gonna change that later. Let's go to the next bone in the hierarchy. This is left shoulder. We're gonna select and double click to the select mesh. We return back to the paint mode, value of 1, and float. Then we go to the next bone. White means that has more influence on. We go to the selection mode, double click, paint mode, float with value of 1. So basically that's all of the process of assigning the weight for the joints. As you can see, it is really simple, and however, it takes a lot of time to assign every single object. However, like super simple. Let's go to the left elbow 1. We will repeat this process. We select, double click on this part, and We go to the paint and float. Remember that all of unnecessary influence will be eliminated following the process of reassigning the weights for the joints. The elbow itself works correct. However, you can see the artifacts from other parts. No worries, we'll fix that later. Left elbow 1, select. Value of 1 and float. Select. Let's select all these parts. We'll click, double click and go to paint. We select the value of 0 and float. Now this bone does not have influence on these parts. You can see that it colored as black. Left elbow 3. Then we go to the selection mode. We select all these vertices, all those vertices and those vertices, and those vertices and those vertices, and these vertices. We also need to select the parts inside, here and here, and those vertices and those vertices. Okay. We go to the paint, value of 1 and float. And now it is working. Let's go down. As you can see, we have this issue. The object disappears as we arrive closer. Let's fix that. View camera, attribute editor. This is the camera settings. There are these two settings that cause display problems: near clip plane and far clip plane. This is basically this is the plane that like the maximum where it reaches in the distance and the minimum where it reaches in approach. For as long as my camera clips in the minimum distance, I'll put another 0 here. Okay. Actually, I could even raise this number or keep lowering the number to be able to get close so that the object does not cut but this invisible plane. But I kind of need this thing a little bit. When we will create weight for the legs, I need to select objects inside and it will be more comfortable with clipping. Let's return back to the skinning. Alright, so let's maybe talk while I'm doing the skinning. I mean, because it's like kind of more technical, more repetitive process, I guess. No need to explain it again and again, so I kind of could speed up this part and just talk sopra. I absolutely love both rigging and animation, as well as like character creation and props. I would even define it as narrate stories. I'm pretty versatile person in general, so when it comes to CGI, I kind of do like doing everything, probably everything, except programming. Although even programming, I kind of like it. As you can see here, we have some white color, we have more influence here. And a lot of influence when we do not need it. I kind of do like programming, it is just that I don't understand it. I kind of trying to understand it for a lot of time, for a long time and I always fail. However, like rigging in animation, oh, I absolutely adore it. Of course, doing simple rigs like this robot or even like a human, this is simple. This is very, very simple. Value of 1, float. Okay, let's keep going. Though I know a lot of people they're terrified by rigging, even though they've never tried it, but they're already afraid. Well, whenever I mention rigging, my friends get goosebumps. Well, okay, my friends, they all do game design, so Unity, Unreal, basics of modeling. However, like even animators, you think they work with rigs every single day, right? But in a way, they're kind of scared of it too. But once you like master the basics, it gets easier. And even animating becomes easier. Okay, so let's see how it moves. We have some deformations on the leg. We'll fix that while doing the leg. Yep, fingers move how I want them to move. So we can proceed to the leg. Let's just firstly check the movements on our hand and only hand. Okay, it seems kind of fine. Okay. I'm thinking we should have firstly eliminate all the weight on all of the geometry, assigning the value of 0 to the full body. And already then assign the weight to almost an empty model, as if from black canvas. In that way, that would be easier to see what work we've done in a clear manner, because you were seeing the artifacts that that you obviously wouldn't see on a finished model. As we finish the rig, because it took too much influence over the geometry. I cannot even show you normally how it's supposed to work, to move. However, maybe that's for the better. You'll see better how it works. For as long as you've already seen the hand, I'm gonna speed up this part because, as I said, there is nothing extraversial, a simple repetitive process of assigning weights. By the way, what we were talking about before, okay, so this is kind of simple process. That's because this is the standard rig for a simple model, like a simple robot model. Now, of course, I couldn't make like a rig for, I don't know, a transformer or more complex models, or even like a super complex heavy rig, but like the simple standard one, easy, super easy. And I find it just insanely interesting. I can do CGI work for every single day and never get bored of it. However, this is like also because of troubleshooting, because I'm always having different kind of problems that you search for how to solve them. So I'm like bored? No. Angry and tired? Yes, that's more like me. I think it's done and the rest will be reassigned later. Alright, so let's talk about this. How do you even figure out if you like it, like rigging? How do you know if that's something you should do or put your effort to? I mean, it's not like someone just wakes up in the morning and it's like, I want to be a rigger. Or like in elementary school when they ask kids, oh, what do you want to be? An astronaut, a police officer. And the kid's like, no, I want to be a rigger. Obviously, it doesn't happen in this way. So like rigging, it's kind of hidden profession. There is not much known about it. Like imagine someone telling their friends, I worked on this video game, you know, or this movie. And the friends are like, oh, so you made the characters? No, I didn't. Maybe animations, explosions. Maybe you modeled that car that just exploded. And the person is like, no, I kind of put bones in it so it could work, so the stuff could move. And for someone who isn't into CGI, yeah, it's like, huh, what are you even talking about? Even for people who know something about CGI, it's like, oh yeah, no, I don't really want to know much about it either. Because they're all kind of afraid of rig. I mean, they kind of do know sort of how the rigging works, you know, these CGI people who works with games and graphics and whatever. But mostly they kind of know that you kind of shouldn't mess with it. That's like what people know and think about rigging. It's kind of funny. It's seen as like this kind of super complicated thing for high-level professionals. And people seem to know that it's ridiculously hard. Like, don't even try. And yeah, that's it. That's what they know. The people, my friends, a lot of people. When I told my friends who like do computer graphics, do CGI, games, they're game designers, they do Unity, Unreal Engine, Maya, and I kind of said, oh, I'm studying rigging, or like I'm about to study rigging, like soon. And they'd all freak out and be like, rigging, no, rigging, that's way too hard. That's way too hard. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't really think that rigging is hard. Those basic things you learn from courses, right? They're like super simple, easy peasy. And like for simple models, like even a human model, that would be easy. However, if a model has a lot of kind of stuff on it, that would kind of be hard. Well, especially for the people who are like really into graphics, they're like kind of scared of rigging. but I'm scared of programming. All my friends are scared of rigging, and I'm kind of scared of programming. So, you know, we kind of balance each other out. Riggers are almost invisible, an invisible profession, and almost impossible to find. Like, imagine trying to starting a game dev studio, and imagine that you have to find a rigger. It's like they're ninjas or something. They just all vanished. Oh, and that reminds me of my story with animation. People always told me, oh, making characters modeling, that's quick and fun, super creative. But animation? Oh no. No, animation is complicated and so boring, they said. Slow, tedious, that's just the dullest thing ever, they said. And well, I tried it. I understood that it's completely the opposite. I absolutely fell in love with animation. I adore it with my whole heart. Even though I did believe those people when they said animation was boring and complicated, to find out that it is always better try and understand it yourself than listen to people. There is also a lot of messy information in the world, like talking in general. There is a lot of messy information in the world, talking in general. You can't just believe people and words, especially if that's something you're interested in, or like you have curiosity for, to try to see it yourself. Like curiosity, right? And rigging, it's the same story. I tried it, and I realized it's fascinating, it's fun, and it might actually be useful for my projects. Like if you've got a knack for unraveling things, like a detective story when something doesn't work. It's like solving a mystery. You've got this problem and you start pulling the thread to figure out where exactly it is and how to fix it. And well, honestly, that's a perfect description of every single day of my work with CGI. Yeah, and rating things, like troubleshooting. So how do you even know if you like it? Honestly, you don't. You just have to try and understand it yourself. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things and figure out what clicks for you. And yeah, I suppose that's my advice for you today. I just noticed we have some problems with with the eyes. We've set up the point of our joint center at the beginning of an eye and not at the center, so it rotates weirdly. So let's fix that. Let's fix that. We select the copies of our eyes, move it outside of the group, we delete half of the sphere. Then we have to reconnect our edges. So select, click on bridge, and then grab our multi-cut tool to connect our vertices. So we'll be able to see the center of the sphere, like the precise center of the sphere. Okay, so that's our center. That's where the center of our joint should be positioned. I'll repeat this action with another eye, and then I'll show you a new tool. It can be useful if you have done errors with positioning joints before skinning. If you try to move the joint where we already assigned the skin for, it's gonna move together with the eye. And I'll show you the new tool. I'll show you a tool that you can move joints even if you have made skinning on them. So we go to skin, move skin joints tool. Wait, first of all we have to hide our geometry. So we'll be able to see the helpers that we've created. So we go to skin, move skin joints, then we kind of select simple move tool, or like we press W. We repeat the same action with our left eye joint. We select, move skin joints tool, then we simply move. Okay, and that's all. Simple. As you can see, our eyes remained on the same position, and right now if we try to rotate it, they rotate on the same position without moving the eye outside from the center, like how it's supposed to move and how we want it to move. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's see how each bone moves with the weight we assigned by simply selecting each joint in the order and rotating it or moving, depending on how the bone originally is supposed to move, according to the general idea and the concept. I also did move our hip joints with our move skin joint tool, as you can notice. Now we get pretty nice movement, how hips were originally designed and how it's supposed to move. Okay, let's select the next bone. Okay, the movement is right. And then let's check our knees. Let's rotate them. Okay, I do like how they move right now. And then we check our hits. Let's rotate them. We can also move them. Maybe we should have created here two joints, one for movement and one for rotation. Well, in theory, even if with that one, it'll be okay. So I suppose that's okay. Okay, so let's check the chest movements. Okay, I like what movements we've got here. Okay, so let's move on. This part is also supposed to move, opening more spines. Okay, so here I noticed a little problem. The piece is stretching, that it still has weight on different joints. For example, 30% on one joint and 70% on another, I don't know. Okay, so let's reassign the weight on that joint. As you can see down here, we have a little piece colored in blue. That means that this joint has some influence. Whatever the influence is supposed to be 0. So we float it with the value of 0 and it colors in black. Now let's see. We select the chest joint, and if we move it, it has no influence on that object. Exactly how we need. This movement I also do like so much. Okay, super nice. So that's it. That was all the process of the second part. In the first part we did the skeleton, so we created the joints, and in this video we connected the geometry to the joints we've created. We assigned the weight. It has remained just the last step to create controls. That's what we're gonna do in the last video. So thank you for watching. Bye.